by her Korean clients, and an international spa who sampled the oil has placed their first order for more than 600 litres. Meanwhile, the school children here are planting more organic coconut trees, knowing that a bold decision by their elders will secure their future. The Via Island in Fiji is remote. Untouched by tourism and industry, the environment here is pristine, and its 1,000 inhabitants intend to keep it this way. In 2000,
Yeah, thanks. That gives you a brief of what we are trying to do in our part of the world. The Via Island is one of the 300 islands in Fiji. If you're ever a tourist, look at those pristine beaches that we have. So add organicness, and it's gaining a lot of publicity. Now we just have to consolidate all this organic PGS work that is going on. Yeah, the whole island got together and declared it. Our work started June last year, so it's in a relatively short time in this island of Didia. Got together to declare this. That's some of the photos from the declaration in June of last year. It's very important when you work in community in our region to get the support of the traditional land ownership, the traditional culture, and we can use that in as a monitoring mechanism in our societies, because they have the power to enforce some of the things, if so forth. So in 2006, these old guys got together and decided they'll ban all fertilizers and chemicals. So it helped the organicness of the island in a way. When the work started, parents and students were in the same room doing the organic training, and so the kids are aware of this. And as you saw in organic training there are the parents and children doing composting, for example. So the learning is togetherness with the whole families and villages. Some of the traditional systems are enhanced by this reawakening through PGS. These yams, they are very famous in Fiji for planting yams, and the story goes that we have also the center of Pacific crops and trees. All the traditional varieties are now stored in this gene bank for sharing with the region and also safeguarding the diversity that we have. And yam is just an example. If you look at the food, all of that is grown and in the island, and every time there's a meeting you'll be amazed by the availability of all these homegrown organic food. Fish are plenty and hope to keep it safe. A lot of our pristine islands now, the reefs are getting problems if what you do on the land end up in the reef. So agriculture has been blamed for damaging the coastal fisheries from runoffs from the use of chemicals and fertilizers. So I'm sure when this is scientifically monitored to see what is the effect of having an organic island compared to a non-organic island, as Fiji has 300 of these, to see the data. It continues the abundance of nutrition. Our part of the world, non-communicable diseases is really bad. The fish, the mainstay of this island is copra, but they're changing over to, this project is targeting virgin coconut oil, just to value adding it and certified it organic. The price, the economics of the whole thing is quite substantial. Traditional farming systems and the way they're doing it on slopes need some, through the PGS and through, as I always tell the island, when a third party certifier comes, he comes once and we're supposed to trust him. Where in our own PGS we meet these people daily and monthly and so forth. So sustainable farming systems needs to be addressed here. They had Fiji is going through plant 1 million trees, whether it's coconut or what, and the government pays you. So because coconut is so important, the school and the villages got together and plant as many coconut trees as possible. The fruit of life in the islands, and there's youth collecting the nuts for making the oil and so forth. Home from the gardens with yams. There's a lot of publicity with this. We have sporting events, as my friend said, sevens. Rugby sevens is Fiji's world power in this, and there's an actual organic sevens on the island. Every year, it's been going on now for the second year. And teams comes from the outer islands to participate, and the priority that we put in, a night before the games, everybody's talking about organics and PGS. So those outside the box kind of publicity. That's one of the big yams on the island. They're famous for that. It's huge. This is a great photo when the 5 villages were given the initial PGS certification. We just have to finalize a few more things before the labels and all that goes out. But that was a highlight for us for Didia. A convinced organic buyer from New Zealand in one of our sites drinking the traditional kava, which shows a lot of respect. For us, this guy came down from New Zealand to check how trustworthy is our documentation. And he was very convinced. Even a third party, some of you know BioGrow from New Zealand, came and had a look at all the documents, and they're very convinced that in some cases it's even more strict than a third party certifier, even down to heavy metal testing and all that. So that our view is that anybody asks, we say, hey, we've done the same, and so forth. That's in one of the 5-star hotels, accepting the oil in the buckets from the island. So we're getting there. As I said, our works just started last June. So the women get the money back in the island when this oil comes. Food security is a main issue. Also that we are not just working on ensuring to gain. Some of we're talking to that school principal, said half the kids can't pay the school fees. So we with this virgin coconut oil and certification, we estimate about $5,000, $6,000 US are going back to the island from the sale of this oil. So it's starting slowly, and once we finalize the actual PGS certification, then I think it will really get off the ground. Throughout working on the island, as you saw, a lot of beautiful beaches and all that, but so now they're talking about ecotourism, organic tourism, that kind of stuff. So there's a roundup, there's another thing that goes on with it. So it's bigger than just an organic island. If you want to eat the biggest lobsters, you come to Didia. And there's miles of white beaches. All this needs to be planned and work with the community as you go forward. Yeah, and there's a Facebook page, Organic Didia. That's the first time I've learned how to use Facebook, and I had to do this. Up to now, it's about 746 followers. So that's the first attempt to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan. And your idea about organic rugby and combining, discussion about PGS and rugby, I really love it. And I hope next time we organize a game right before the conference. Thank you. Then the next speaker is coming from France, Marc-David Chokroun, who is representing a quite new initiative which was partly inspired by the AMAP, the CSA in France, that we talked about this morning with Elizabeth. But it's actually a very different model. It's a business model that is being quite successful now. So we are all, I guess, very curious to know more about this. Marc-David?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting us. So I'm going to talk about a network we launched 3 years ago in France called La Ruche qui dit oui. And we're starting to expand the network now in new countries over Europe under the name The Food Assembly, and you can see our poster here. The big thing, the big novelty about our project is the use of the technology, and I hope that today I can inspire you about how technology can help to develop local food systems faster, either it is for CSA movement or for PGS or for other alternatives like us. So why did we build La Ruche qui dit oui in 2010? Why didn't we started maybe a CSA network? We felt in France there was a desire of people of looking for other alternatives for local food system. Many people were respecting a lot the AMAP in France, but couldn't have the time to do voluntary work or to engage in a contract with the farmer, but were still in demand of supporting local farming, organic farming, and so on. So we say, okay, maybe we can find a solution, maybe we can build a tool that can help farmers to propose their produce directly to local communities, and allow people in communities to order what they want, but ordering what they want, but still supporting the farmer because of the big number of orders every week in the community. So how does it work? In fact, the way it works is interesting. I'm gonna show you a quick video afterwards, but in 2 words. The way it works, like we have an online platform called laruchequidiwi.fr. People who want to start a community gonna connect on the platform. It can be an individual or a group of people, and they're gonna request to start what we call the ruche. It means a beehive in French. And then they will go into a building process. And we have a role as a company, really to support these people, to train them, to help them to build a community. So during a 2 to 4 months process, they're going to be looking for members in the area. They're going to be looking for farmers who are looking for a new way of distributing their produce. And then when they're ready, they're going to open the community. And the way it works, we have an online community and we have an offline market every week. So every week you're able to order up to 2 days before the collection. And then once a week, farmers gonna meet the people during distribution time. So it's at this moment of the process, it's closer to a CSA because people meet the farmers, and it's really important in a project. We didn't want to do it as just a pickup location, but we really wanted that the people are able to meet the farmers. And in the members, something interesting and important that we see. It's we really help people to be also in a transition process for them, because most of the people it's difficult for them to engage, to do volunteer work. So we say maybe 80% of the people are just clients, they order and then they go to the community, but then they start to know the community, they start to meet the farmers, and they want to engage more and more. And we see there are more and more people that want to engage with their communities, they want to visit the farms, they want to have side activities, they want to help during the collection. So we're really helping to attract more people to local food systems. I'm going to show you a quick video that is a summary of a lot of TV coverage we had in the previous years.
On parle souvent dans le 13h des systèmes qui sont intéressants pour les consommateurs. En voilà un nouveau.
Ça s'appelle La Ruche qui dit oui. La Ruche qui dit oui.
La Ruche qui dit oui. L'idée, c'est vraiment de raccourcir les circuits de distribution, donc de mettre le moins d'intermédiaires possible entre les consommateurs et les producteurs.
Nous sommes en fait dans le cabinet de diététicienne de Florence. Elle le transforme en centre de distribution chaque semaine. Elle est donc la reine de la ruche.
C'est elle qui fait le lien entre clients et producteurs.
Tout se passe par Internet. De l'autre côté de l'écran, on retrouve notre abeille qui sélectionne à sa guise ses achats sur le site de la ruche.
Vous connaissez personnellement les producteurs auxquels vous achetez vos fruits, vos légumes ou votre pain.
C'est vraiment un investissement pour la curiosité de mes enfants, pour leur éducation au niveau du palais, pour la joie de cuisiner ensemble et de manger autre chose.
Vous avez l'air heureux. Oui, j'adore ça.
La qualité comparée aux produits du supermarché, il n'y a vraiment pas photo.
Et c'est pas hyper cher en fait. Contrairement à ce qu'on pourrait penser, c'est pas excessif.
On sait qui est le fabricant, il est sur place, on le voit, on peut discuter.
Le but c'est aussi ça, enfin pour moi, après les autres j'en sais rien, mais pour moi c'est rencontrer des gens que j'aurais jamais rencontrés ailleurs.
L'intérêt, c'est d'être en contact avec les gens, de pouvoir expliquer comment on travaille. Et c'est aussi, du coup, en filière courte, de supprimer les intermédiaires, de pouvoir avoir un petit peu plus de marge financière et donc de faire un bon produit.
Le consommateur sait ce qu'il achète et voilà quoi. Puis moi c'est intéressant parce que tout ce qui est livré est vendu. Et les commandes sont faites sur internet. Moi je capte les commandes 3 jours avant.
Et vous savez précisément le nombre de pains que vous allez livrer.
Là il y a la traçabilité complète sur chaque produit avec la date d'abattage, l'élevage, le lieu où la viande a été découpée.
Le kilomètre alimentaire de ces pâtes est de grosso modo 116 km.
Génial.
Je fais 4 fois plus que ce que je peux vendre dans mon magasin un samedi ordinaire, si vous voulez.
Plus 30% en un an, Internet lui a permis d'embaucher une jeune femme pour préparer les commandes. Car 3 fois par semaine, il part livrer ses clients, chargés en plus des produits laitiers et bovins de 2 autres agriculteurs.
Retrouver un peu les produits agricoles en plein milieu de Paris, c'est quand même sympa. Ah, je suis d'accord.
Il n'y a que du positif. Voilà.
Il voit la différence entre ce qu'ils mangeaient avant et ce qu'ils mangent aujourd'hui. Et d'ailleurs, la plupart des gens qui y goûtent, ils y reviennent.
Plus de 250 ruches sont déjà ouvertes en France. Tout le monde peut se lancer, à condition d'avoir un peu de place et beaucoup d'amour pour les bonnes choses.
So yeah, to give you a bit more information, what we see in our networks, like most of the farmers delivering the network are looking to have multiple distribution network. Most of them are looking only for local food systems, so they are either delivering farmers market. We have 20 to 25% of our farmers who are delivering CSA or selling directly at the farm. So many farmers like to have different options, not to rely only on one option, and we think it's very important for them. Also, what they like about the La Ruche is they bring them the access to the technology. They use now the La Ruche is not only a selling website, it's also a social network for the farmers and the communities, and they're closer to their communities. They can send them pictures, send them information, and so on. Invite them to their farm, have direct feedback from the consumer. Not only during the collection, but also online. So it's very nice for them. And also, it spared them a lot of work because the platform is going to take care of doing all the money transfer, all the accounting, exporting files for their accounting and so on. So most of the farmers really like it. And now in the network in France, to give you an idea, we have almost 4,000 farmers that are using the system. And it's around 100,000 clients that are using the system with 600 communities over the country. So after 3 years, we can say it's a big success. And part of the success is also linked to the fact that it's a very, very decentralized network. Each community is started by one person, of a group of person, and even if we help them and we give them a lot of tools, a lot of support, they are independent in their choice. For example, some community wants to have only organic products, so they can have only organic product. Some community gonna say, I'm gonna have only produce from 10 kilometers around my home. They can do that as well. To give you an idea as well, the average distance from the farmers to the communities is 43 kilometers. Even if we allow up to 250 kilometers, we need this distance mostly for big cities like Paris, where it's very difficult to find local produce because of the big the bigger and bigger demand. Yeah, one important thing as well is like we don't use a volunteer system. The community host it got a commission because of the work, and we got a commission as well. The total commission is 16%. We think that's fair, and we promise to everybody that we will never raise this commission. It's very important to be transparent and never raise it. But this commission really helps us to build a technology, because you need to understand that if you want to have a very powerful technology, it costs a lot of money. Today we have more than 15 people working on the system, and we want to really build tools to help farmers to spend as little time doing the online selling or managing the logistics, and spending as much time as possible in the field or with the consumers. That's really what's important for us. So really thinking about how can we build technologies that can help farmers to do better logistics, because they're taking care of the logistics in the system. And what we see also is a lot of collaboration at every stage of the system, especially between the farmers. Most of the farmers are sharing the logistics, and that's why it's making like a efficient network for them and profitable, and why they still are using it. So after being in France for 3 years, we decided to propose our system also in Belgium since last year, and now we launched it in the UK, Germany, Spain, and we're starting in Italy. So we hope that it will inspire you if you want to talk about like how you can use technology to go faster with CSA or with other system. I'd be happy to talk about it. You can see we have like option like us that is like a service, so people need to pay for it. But there's also like open source options that can work for CSA, and that are people, your customers and farmers